Hello and welcome to Clay Jarvis Guitar. Today I want to talk to you about how to solo and improvise using or all over all five of the caged shapes. I've also put together some great reference tools that I want to show you that really helped me. And once I realized how amazing the caged system really is, it's not only for playing chords, but for solo and improvising as well. First of all, I want to share with you that I'm very old school when it comes to how I learned to solo and improvise on guitar. It was at a time when the internet was so new and so slow, and of course, way before YouTube. I was self-taught for about 5 years, and then I decided to take guitar lessons from a classical guitar player. And he taught me all about the major scale and the modes on guitar. And that literally changed my life. And once I started applying that knowledge, it opened up so many doors and gave me so much confidence. And so fast forward to today's times, I had never really heard of the CAGED system until I started my YouTube guitar channel. And after about a year or so, I watched a few videos about the CAGED system, and I wasn't very impressed. My feeling was that I've always used this concept of playing chords and triads in different places all over the fretboard. I just never really had a name for it. But however, at some point I realized that even though there are 7 modes that I had learned, I had figured out along the way that I only really use 5 of those modes. And once I realized that all 5 of the caged shapes have a mode scale pattern that directly corresponds, now for each cage shape, I can play a major scale mode or a pentatonic scale that is built right into that shape for each one of those chord shapes. So now let me show you this reference guide, and I'm going to break all this down for you. If you have any questions at all, please put them in the chat, or if you're looking at this on the replay, then leave questions in the comments and let me know, how long have you been playing guitar? What questions do you have about soloing and improvising on guitar? Anything related to this, live stream that I can help you with, I'm happy to answer any of your questions or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and break down this this chart that I have, and this is a free PDF that I put together, and I've got it available. There's a link in the description for you, so you can download it. And you'll be joining my email list, and you don't have to worry, I'm not going to spam you or anything like that. The only time I'm going to send out emails is maybe inviting you to a live stream or something like that, but no spamming or anything like that, so don't worry about that. But I hope you'll download this free PDF, and of course this kind of gives you a summary of it. We're not going to go too much into this. The last 4 or 5 live streams I've done, I've referenced this PDF guide for different things. But it all comes down really to, it's all about the major scales and the modes, and it's going to talk about, your scale degrees, so your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes of each scale. It's going to talk about, if you notice your 1, your 4, and your 5 is all major chords. Your 2 and your 3 and your 6 is all minor chords. That's very important to really get that stuff down and understand it. So let's just focus for this lesson. We're going to talk about the A major scale. So A is your 1. It's a major chord, and it's the Ionian mode scale pattern. The B is going to be your 2. It's a Dorian mode scale pattern, and it's a B minor chord. F sharp is your 3 minor chord. It's called the Phrygian mode scale pattern. We're going to skip over the 4, and we're going to go to the 5. The 5 is going to be your E, and it's a Mixolydian mode scale pattern, and of course the E major chord. So the 6th one is your F sharp, and it's an Aeolian mode scale pattern. It's going to be a minor chord, but your F sharp is going to be your relative minor of your A major key. So any key, say whether you're talking about C or G, D, doesn't matter. You've got your 1 is going to be your, the key that you're in. So if you're in C major, then you're going to have the 6 is going to be your relative minor key, which is really cool to understand that, because it can really help you especially navigate the fretboard and things like that. So So let's go ahead and get into some guitar, and let's get into this other document that I created. Now, this is a PDF too, but it's just going to be one page, or maybe, no, I'm sorry, it's going to be like 5 pages. But it's not going to be like the free PDF download. But if you will do the free PDF download, then what I can do is it'll send you a welcome email, and you can email me a request, and I will email you the file for this PDF here, because I think this is really going to be helpful for just about anybody that wants to check it out. So I'm going to bring in some guitar here, and let's go ahead and get rolling with this. And let's see what happens here. So got our guitar going. So here's the way this is going to work. Basically, you're looking at the 1 right there, which is your A, key of A major. So A is your 1. We talked about that. It's an A Ionian mode. That's your 7-note scale pattern. It's an A major pentatonic in first position, and that's your 5-note scale pattern. And the way this diagram works basically is, as long as you don't play the notes in the red circles, then you're playing the major pentatonic position or scale. If you play all these notes, then you're playing the 7-note, Ionian mode scale pattern. And the last thing is your A major chord with this in this shape right here, or in your Ionian mode, is going to be the E caged shape. So let's go ahead and break that down. So I did a live stream last week, or the last one was all about your caged shapes, and it was really more just about the chords, but it's all about, you could play in a chord progression, and how to find those chords in different places on the fretboard. So I think that'd be helpful if you want to go back and watch that. But this is basically going to be talking about improvising and soloing. So here's your E, shape. So if you slide that up, now you're on your A major chord right there, and that's in your E shape right there. So let's start with our 7-note scale, the Ionian mode, and we're going to start with this A note right there, 5th fret, low E string. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1. That's going from A to A. That's a 2-octave major scale. And so what that is your A major scale, or A Ionian mode scale pattern. Now let's go ahead and look at the 5-note scale pattern. Now what I want you to understand about the 5-note scale pattern, the A major pentatonic in the positions I'm going to show you, if you look, it's always going to be the same notes. So we're basically not playing the notes in the red circles, which is the G sharp and the D. And if you look at that A major scale, the 7-note scale, then basically we're not playing the 4, or we're not playing the 7. So your pentatonic is going to look like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. That's the number of notes. Now here's the actual scale degrees: 1, 2, 3. Then we're skipping to the 5, then the 6, then the 1. So then it goes from there. And there you have the 5-note scale. Once again, this is your E caged shape right there. So next, let's move on to our next shape, which is going to be based on the B being your 2. And let's say your B right there on the 7th fret, that's going to be a B minor chord, because your 2 is going to be minor. And it's a B Dorian mode scale pattern. So the Dorian mode scale pattern looks like this. Now once again, that's going from B to B. So that is a B Dorian mode scale pattern. And why that's important is because we're starting with B and we're ending with B. B is our root note in this case. However, we're in the key of A. So let's find our A note here. right there. So if we started with this note right here, now we're right back to our A major scale. So hopefully you can see how that works. It's all about the root note, but the scale position is the same. So and now we land back on our A. Now the shape here is going to be the D shape. And it looks like that right there. So you could always just play this chord and then play a little phrase. And there you go. So we're going on to our next one here, and this is going to be our C sharp. And this is our C sharp minor chord. So once again, we're on our 3. So we've got our 1, 2, 3 if we're staying on our bottom E string. And there's our C sharp minor chord right there. So here is what that 7-note scale pattern looks like, which is a Phrygian mode scale pattern. So here we go. Once again, that's C sharp to C sharp. Now let's do the same thing. Let's find our A note. There's our A note right there. Missed it. And there's our A note right there. So now we're going to play, and again, you can start with this A right there. So let's go ahead and do our 5-note scale, and it's going to look like this. We can go ahead and resolve it to the A if we want to. So and there it is right there. Got that little triad right there. Now the CAGED shape is going to be the C shape. So you start with this C down here and slide it all the way up. Now you've got that shape right here. And you can play it like this without that C note. You can start from the 3rd basically. So you got options there, but it's still going to be this scale pattern. And we'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment, how you can kind of break down some of those ideas. The next one is going to be our 5, which is our Mixolydian mode scale pattern. We're going to go ahead and go see. Let's go ahead and go up to our 5, which will be right here. This E. So that's the E right there. Of course, here is the A chord. So far we've got our E shape, our D shape, our C shape, and now we're on our A shape. So if we start from our E, here's our 7-note scale, the Mixolydian mode. That's E to E right there. That's the E Mixolydian mode scale pattern. But now let's find our A note, which we already know is right there. So you could just start right here. You could end up on that A right there if you wanted to, or you could end on that A right there. So it's all about the root notes, all about what key you're in, it's all about what chord you're trying to play. But basically, if you were playing over an E chord, then you've got your E Mixolydian. Or if you're playing your A chord, you've got that right there. So And again, this is the A caged shape. So it'd be like starting here and your bar in the open, and then you slide on up all the way to your 12th fret. And that's your A caged shape of the A major chord. Of course, normally you'd play it right here. You wouldn't play it up here, but nevertheless, that's what we're doing. So now we're going to play the notes without the red circles. So starting with your E, it looks like this. This is your 5-note scale. Of course, we'll resolve it to our A right there. We can resolve it right there to that chord. So all day long, if you're playing this chord, that scale sounds right. It just works. So let's go ahead and go to our 5th shape and scale position. And this is going to be our F sharp, which is our 6th. Again, this is our relative minor. So our 6th, instead of playing it way up here on the 14th fret, I got big hands, so it's not going to work for me. So I'm going to play down here. So on the 2nd fret right there, there's your F sharp minor chord. And here is your F sharp Aeolian mode scale pattern. Once again, if you were playing that F sharp chord, then that scale works perfect. However, we're playing in the key of A, so we'd want to play here. So let's go back to the 7 note, but let's start it here. If you notice, that is just your A major scale. Totally identical. And that's the way that works. And again, the 5-note scale is your A major pentatonic in 5th position. If we started with this A, then it would look like this. But if we started with the F sharp, then this would be very familiar to you because it's just your minor pentatonic scale in 1st position. But once again, we're starting with the A. Now the shape on this, the cage shape, is G. So if you started on this G right here, and you just moved it up 2 frets, it'd look something like that right there, or you could play it with these 4 strings. Actually, you don't even have to play the top, the bottom E string right there. You could just start here. And resolve to your A. All right, so that pretty much takes care of those shapes. Hopefully that's been helpful for you. Hey, Fred, thanks for joining me on this live stream. I appreciate it. Freebird, it's definitely one of my favorite songs of all time. I love it. Can you play Freebird? Can you play the solo? I played that song for a lot of years, and I probably played the solo wrong more times than I played it right, but it's always been a crowd pleaser, man. Always been a crowd pleaser. Freebird's always been one of those songs you end the set with, and people are just, they love it. Man, there's nothing, you can't beat Freebird. So that's a lot of fun right there. Thanks for joining me, man. I appreciate it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get back to some full guitar here. I'm going to show you a few more things real quick here. What I like to do, go ahead and just make sure I didn't miss anything with my notes here. Yeah, we kind of covered everything. What I want to do is just show you real quickly when you're practicing, think about kind of the chords you're playing and your choices. Obviously, if you're in this E shape right here, you've got that. All I did was go from the 7-note scale to the 5-note scale. Little slide up right there. You can do your bends. So the idea for practicing would just be play a little chord or play a chord and then do a little phrase. So that's kind of the idea. You could play that same thing here on your D shape. Again, this is kind of a tough note to hit right there, but nevertheless, that's it right there. As long as you're in this shape, it doesn't matter really what chord you're on. That's going to work for you. So if I want to bring this down to here, now I'm in G. Same thing. I can do whatever I want right there. And that's why these shapes are really cool when you start moving them around. You can, if I was playing here, I'm in E, and whenever I play this scale, the cool thing is I know where my next scale is, because that right there was my Dorian. I know that I go up a whole step, and now I'm in my Phrygian. So I've got this E right here. I got this E right here. That's where it really gets cool right there. So it doesn't matter which one of these shapes you're in. So you're in the B minor right there. Once again, that's that Dorian right there. You could almost play your minor pentatonic scale right there, because your minor pentatonic has all the same notes as the Dorian scale, or at least the 5 notes. You resolve into that B minor right here. Now what I want to show you is, let's say that you're playing something like this C sharp minor chord right here. So this is a little bit of a different deal. So your C sharp minor here, you know what your scale is because we talked about it. But what if you're playing that same C sharp minor right there? Now what scale do you play? Well, it's going to be same idea. Now you're playing basically a G sharp Phrygian. I played it right. So that C sharp minor right there, you know exactly where to go with it. And you can take that Phrygian and you can go up to your 5 right there. Which with G sharp Phrygian, go up to your B, that would be your 5. And now you know from your 3 to your 5 right there, now you've got once again, you play a chord and you play a little phrase that goes with it. And the idea is to land on that root note or land on the chord tones of that chord. So it could be your 1, or could be your 3rd or your 5th. So if it's a minor chord, you've got a 1, a minor 3rd, and the 5. If it's major, you got a 1 and a major 3rd and a 5. So this C sharp minor would be, that would be the notes. Yeah. So you've got it right here. I just want to make sure it's clear that you're still using this scale. So that's why that's pretty cool. So that works no matter where you're at on the guitar. So the last example I'll show you is, let's say you're playing in an E minor chord right there. Same concept. And the reason this is true, the reason it was true here, and the reason it's true here, is because ultimately you're playing in this C shape. But you could be saying you're playing in the A shape here, and you could be playing like, you know, from that shape if you want. But what I'm actually doing is I'm using the 6. I'm sorry, the C shape is what I'm using, sorry. So the C shape right there is what allows you to get into this position. Although we're playing the relative minor of that. So this right here would be a G. This right here would be your relative minor, which is E minor. So that's how that works. So hopefully that's really helpful for you. I'm hoping that you'll download my free PDF, and if you want the other slide like we talked about, then just be sure and send me an email, because once you download the free PDF, you'll be on my mailing list, and you'll get a welcome email, and you could send that email to me and just say, hey, I want to, from that live stream, I'd like to have that caged improvising PDF, we'll call it. So I don't really have a name for it right at the moment, but let's just say the caged improvising PDF document, and I'll be happy to email that to you directly. So I have no problem with that at all. So any questions before I sign off? Fred, you got any questions at all? You still there, Fred? All right. Looks like I don't have anything else as far as any questions or anybody waiting. So yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up. And once again, hope you'll subscribe to my channel, and you know, check out my other live streams. I've done probably, I don't know, 5 live streams here recently, and I've really been getting into these, and I really hope that I can start getting more participation where we can have more conversations and really get into these topics. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. So hopefully this is good for you. And once again, I just want to say keep rocking, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video or the next live stream. Take care.